So I basically just type the paper. I look at the rubric, and it for me it works. I basically type it out, and I go back over it, add in the references, my anything that doesn't have an original thought. I have to add evidence, or the professor will mark me low. So what you saw me doing basically is like I was going through the rough draft, correcting the grammar, making sure the citations were in, which I'll talk about in a minute. Once I've done that, we'll print it out. As you can see here, I'll print out the paper, and as you can see here, I put need citations because I started writing in my recommendations for this organization for the assignment, and I have to go in there and add original thought because I have to, if I'm making an ethical recommendation to this company, I want to back it up with a study or research that was done. So when the CEO looks at it, he can see that a study was done, and this is that recommendation is backed by a study. So I want to add that in because when my professor looks at it, and she'll look at it and be like, hey, you wrote this ethical consideration that was pretty good, but there's no evidence to back that up. So she's gonna mark me down, and I don't want that to happen because I have an A in that class. And also on this one, I have add citation because one of the things that I've learned to do is like each paragraph that I write, I want to have at least 1 to 2 citations in there. I don't want to have no paragraphs with nothing in there unless it's like a personal opinion or some type of opinionated question. But if it's something when research papers are due, it's got to be evidence based, and that is very time consuming. But that's why they call it research paper. Now the longest, the most I would say the most time consuming is, I believe, is the reference sheet, because this is where all your basically your evidence goes. And if you're never been in college or you're attending college, then you know what I'm talking about. And a lot of these I have to fix. And you know how I fix these? With this manual right here. This manual will not do you wrong. So I tell people, and I tell a lot of my friends and some people that I talk to, is to not rely on those automated citation sites that you put your links in, because they don't capture the full format. You cannot go wrong with this book. Yes, it takes a little bit more time, but you would rather have a correct paper, right? Because my professor, she looks at the references and she knows APA, and she will mark you off for if your APA citations are not correct. So I will basically sit here with the APA manual open, and I'm pretty good at knowing the citations and how they're supposed to be labeled, but it's always good to have the reference here to go by. And once I'm done with that, I submit the paper, and I'll be done with that week's work. And next week I have the final paper that's due, which is basically I've already written, because I'm just taking the first 3 milestones plus this paper that I'm turning in tomorrow and just combining them, re-edit it, make sure everything's good, and that's it. All the core courses are done. I am done with this degree. The last thing I have to do, which is just the capstone, which is I guess you could call it a course. It's just a end of project for my end course work. Probably another paper I got to do, but I've already done those before, so I'm just glad these courses are done, man. It's been a long 2 years, and oh man, it's been hard, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I stuck with it, man, and I'm glad it's almost done. And these last 2 weeks, man, whew. And I talked to a couple people in the class that have been with me for these last 2 years, and we email each other back and forth, and we are ready to be done. And we're gonna, focus on going into what we want to do, our field, and what we do. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is, like you see, I get these Monitor on Psychology magazines, and one of the things that I'm interested in doing is, once I'm done, is I'm gonna take a few months off from school, and maybe like 3 months. I don't want to take much longer than that, because I'm gonna start the PhD program in psychology, and one of the concentrations I want to look into is technology and psychology. See, so what they're having in October 3rd and 5th in Washington D.C. is a technology mind and society. It is a concentration on psychology and how technology affects behavior. So that is like, man, that is like, think about like, for me personally, think about like veterans who have lost limbs and they get an artificial arm. And that is like something, I don't know if you can see this picture right here. If you can see that clearly. So think about what they go through, the mental health that they go through with something like that. So, and I want to, focus on that, research that, and anything doing with technology and psychology, I am down for. So there are a couple schools out there. I know Grand Canyon University has a program out there. I think it's like 3 to 4 years, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. But that has a program that's geared towards that. So I'm looking towards that. But honestly, man, I've been in school for, I think, 2010, I want to say, straight. I took a couple months off in between, but hey, man, I got like 4 degrees out of it, but I need a break, man. I ain't burnt out from school. So after this master's, I'm taking a break just to detox my brain, man. But all in all, man, that's pretty much it and what's going on with me right now. But in other news, man, I have been watching this show on Netflix. It is called, hold on, man, Baki. Have y'all seen the show called Baki? If you like fighting, anime, it's crazy, man. It's these big muscular dudes, man, and it's great. I'm already on season 2, and I think I'm on the 3rd episode. And man, it's crazy. It got some crazy characters in there, man. I don't know. Have you guys seen it? What do you guys think about it? But man, it's crazy. But that's it for now. I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll see you soon.